I typically think about things from a public policy point of view, but the whole point of this is to try and put together a public and a private perspective. So often, well, the private sector will do what it does. We don't control the private sector. So the focus remains in many ways on the public sector, what to do to encourage the private sector to make the most of the opportunities. Our wage index forecasts from the Reserve Bank, and as you can see, they keep saying that things will return to normal. Now, spare a thought for the Reserve Bank. If they're not normal, what would you predict? I mean, certainly naively, I'm not really being overly critical here. I may simply be pointing to the difficulty of what they are doing. And that's part of what I'm saying to you now, that just because a forecast doesn't work out might not mean because it's a bad forecast. It might mean that we don't know enough and the forecast was unlucky. But that's the point that I'm saying. We're not showing any curiosity. That would strengthen the market for good management. It would, I'm sure the stock market would take an interest in that data because you would find correlations between results, and more the data would come out because you'd built it in a way to get it out. It wouldn't all come out, but it would be a lot better than it is now, and it would be free. And the competition delusion arises from firms or competitors manipulating the rules as you play the game. That the firms are manipulating the rules of the game that they are playing. And you can see why that is going to be a dodgy prospect, I suspect. Let me try to give you some idea of what that means. But this happens in finance, it happens in medicine, it happens in law. I'm a good company, so let's say, let's not say I'm a good company. Let's say I'm KPMG and I release some good data and you're PwC. Yeah. And the data looks good. What are you going to do as PwC?
Duke the stats?
You'll have, yes, but you'll have different data because you'll be using a completely different system to measure
that's true. Yeah.
So you'll just go through it and you'll get your bullshit artists, also called, comms people, to go through it and pick bits out of it that look good. Yeah. And so it's a zero, it's not going anywhere. Because bullshit's coming out, not information. Yeah. So the market failure here is that there is no standard to report to. Yeah. Something more is going on than changing material conditions, and I think what's going on is that people feel the inauthenticity of their politics.
Although the trust in the two parties at the most recent election here in June has gone up, arguably.
That's because people felt that they were actually fighting for something, but they still feel themselves as, they understand how politics has morphed into brand management rather than a fight for ideas. They understand that every party, when it goes into opposition, simply says the same kinds of things against the government when it's trying to tighten the budget and so on, and that if roles were reversed, they would be saying the opposite of what they are saying. That's now so part of politics in Australia and Britain that people feel that it's tremendous inauthenticity. So Bitcoin is could be a microeconomic miracle worker, and it could be a macroeconomic wrecking ball. So I don't look forward to the idea of Bitcoin displacing government-backed money. I look forward to the idea of Bitcoin supplementing government-backed money and disrupting and disintermediating the bloated, fat ticks of the financial system. This is something we need to think about because this is driving the system crazy. It's driving the capacity to focus on what matters out of our deliberations. So the joke is this is a joke that Lord Acton made at the beginning of the 20th century or thereabouts. It was quoted by Gough Whitlam, which is where I think I heard it first, that rowing is the perfect preparation for life, for public life, because it enables you to go in one direction while you face in the other.